welcome to our second session. If you are just joining us, we are looking at the topic: what do you do when your take home cannot take you home? What do you do when your salary cannot buy? What do you do? In the first session, we looked at that you have to use your salary as a seed. You plant it in order to get more fruits. You don't have to eat the fruit and the seed. You have to keep the seed so that you can invest it. We also said in this life, things happen in cycles. There's always a cycle of abundance, and then there's a cycle of famine. And you need to prepare. There's nothing that you can do to stop the the cycles, but you can prepare for them. And then we also said, number 3, save in order to invest. Save in order to invest. And then number 4, experience of others is the greatest teacher. Learn from their experience. You know, when you join an organization, you have to look at those who have spent about 15 to 20 years in that organization and look at their life, their level of life, the car they drive, the house where they live, and so forth and so forth and so on. That picture of those people is a prophetic picture of how you will be yourself in 10, 15 or 20 years to come. So learn from the experience of others. Spending comes naturally, but saving needs to be learned. 30% of every money you earn belongs to your future. Because we said money comes in 3 forms: past, present, and future. And you have to release the 30% which should be invested for your future. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you are a witch, like a woman who kills his own children. Right? Nobody owes you anything. We emphasize that nobody owes you. You must get rid of that victim mindset or entitlement mindset to say the government owes us this, it has to give us this, our employer has to give us an increment, our employer has to give us a bonus, our employer. That mentality is not a good mentality, right? And then we said, with your seed, which is your salary, you have to buy assets, not liabilities. Buy assets, things that are going to appreciate value and give you more money than buying a gas. A car is always depreciating and it loses value, right? And then we also said, create multiple sources of income. When your take home cannot take you home, create multiple sources of income, like an ocean that gets water from different streams, rivers, right? And then we also said, do not be wasteful. Do not be wasteful. I know someone is saying, Mr. Ndiweni, you don't know what I am earning. I refuse all that. It is the saving mindset we are lacking more than the amount of money that we are getting. A vendor is able to send 3 children to school, but you with your degree, you are struggling, right? So if your take home cannot take you home, cut your suit according to your size. Don't cut your suit according to your size, but according to the available material. Why is that so? Because some of you are oversized. So if you cut according to your size, the material won't be enough. So cut it according to the size of the material. I know as a woman, you post, some women will be posting that I'm married to a rich guy. May I warn you, wealth is not sexual transmitted. Yes, the man is a breadwinner. You too must bring butter for the bread. The entitled mentality is suffocating most men. Truth be told, most of us are not financially intelligent and lack discipline with our finances. Now, when you get money, who are your advisors? You always turn to your spouse to advise you on how to use your money. But is your spouse financially intelligent? You are a poor man. You are asking another poor man to advise you on financial matters. What do both of you know about finance? Right. The problem is that life is appreciated backwards and lived forward. So you need to appreciate that little salary that you are getting. That salary is not going to make you rich. It's not going to turn your life around unless you invest it and do something about it. It is when you lose that job that you begin to see how valuable it is. You have been a tenant in the same house for 20 years, and the owner has died, and his son is now your new landlord, and you are not ashamed. Right. Your grandmother or your grandfather or grandparents were tenants, and your father was a tenant, and you are also a tenant. It is not generational case, but a generational choice. You need to break that choice, that generational choice. What you are looking for, what are you looking for in high profile shops when your salary doesn't permit? Why cry for a label when your salary does not allow? Once your expenditure is more than what your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall. When your expenditure is more than your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall. Live within your means. If you are not tired of poverty, I am telling you, poverty is tired of you. Therefore, if your take home cannot take you home, be financially intelligent and disciplined with money. Live within your means. When you ask a civil servant today, what is your plan for your future? You hear all sorts of funny things. When I retire, when I get my benefits, I will use them to invest. Why start a business at 65? When you are tired, dejected, deformed, start now and fail. And then you spend 3 or so years crying. And then after 2 years again, you start another business. Before 40, you are already in business. Right. Because the advice is that you don't retire and then you start a business. You start a business before you retire, so that you are, by the time you stop working, you are joining you are getting into a vehicle that is already moving, not starting a business when you have already retired. After retirement, in most cases, I remember when I got my pension after having worked in Zim for 10 years. My pension was not even enough to buy a goat, just one goat. Right. Because in most cases, after retirement, the economy could be in financial doldrums, could be being affected by recession, inflation, devaluation, and so forth. Right. And whatever you get amounts to nothing. And then after retirement, you become a liability to your children. The Bible says, honor your mother and your father. That is not a levy that the kids must take care of you. No. Before long, now you have BP, you have stroke, and then you die. So if your take home is no longer taking you home, start a business early. Start a business early, my brother. Take action now. If you don't have a plan of your life, someone will make it. An object will remain stagnant until force is applied. You will remain the same way you are until you take action. 1,000 intentions is not as good as one action. When you are stagnant, you are retrogressing. The world is ever revolving. You are growing older, stagnant in one position. If only your years are growing and no business is growing, that is a mistake. A journey of 1,000 miles does not begin with a single step, but a step that is taken. So if your take home does not take you home, take action now. In case you don't know, you don't work to earn only, but to learn. Did you get that? You don't work to earn. You work to learn as well. Don't be an employee in a company. Be an entrepreneur, staff. Start by owning business inside someone's business. When you work in a company, do not do so with a survival or salary mentality. Work there as an entrepreneur. Work there as an entrepreneur. Be a professional, but also know the business of your profession. If you are a teacher, what are the business opportunities there? There's stationery, you can sell stationery, you can write books. Think out of the box. Think out of the box on how you can make money. Air and time is not for sale. However, someone used his own imagination, his own brains, to put in a technology to work to make you pay for what God has given you as free, air and time. You now buy it because someone used his brain to come up with a technology that will make use of those things. But there are things that are for free. So you have to think out of the box on how you can make a living. Don't rely on your income. The real estate is the only really business. It is the greatest business of this earth. You don't wait to buy land. You buy land and wait. Did you get that? You don't wait to buy land. You buy land and wait. Because once you buy land, after 2, 4, 5 years, it will have appreciated in value. Appreciated 4 or 5 times what you bought it. A village today, a city tomorrow. A city tomorrow, today, a village tomorrow. Land does not expire. It is ever appreciating in value. Whoever owns land determines everything. God promised the Israelites land, not food. Regrettably, some of us, our piece of land is in our wardrobe and in our double door fridges full of food. Wealth creation begins with from inside you. Someone said, making $1 million is not a problem, but believing you can is the really challenge. It is a mindset issue. Once you believe you can, half of the job is done. There is nothing wrong in borrowing money to invest. There is what is called bad debt and good debt. Good debt is when you buy assets, e.g. land. Don't use borrowed money to finance wedding, burial, buy a car, or you go for a holiday. You get a loan from the bank. You're a stupid man. The word poor is an acronym for passing on opportunities repeatedly. Opportunities are ladders to the next level. When opportunity meets with preparation equals to success, it is better to be prepared waiting for the opportunity than for opportunity to come and find you unprepared. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, no matter how hard or long you work for a company, you cannot inherit that company and pass it on to your children. If your ancestors have failed you, you cannot afford to fail your descendants. Those who came before you could have made mistakes, but let their mistakes be your inspiration for your future. Use your salary wisely to break the generational bondage of working for someone. If I got this message 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I wouldn't be where I am today. Therefore, experience is not the best teacher, but the experience of others is. How we are today is a prophetic picture of how you will be in 20 years if you don't do something to change your narrative. Abaphile abantu. My name is Never Ndiweni. I thank you.